Have you ever wondered if your life's path is already written in stone? Is our destiny just sealed from the moment we're born? Or, and here's the thought, could something like the layout of your own home actually have the power to change your future? We're going to dive right into that today, looking at the ancient science of Vastu and its incredible connection to fate. So, our source expert kicks things off with a pretty bold statement. They say when a person is born, their destiny is decided then and there. The idea here is that all the big moments in our lives, marriage, accidents, success, even sickness, it's all part of a script that's already been written for us. But wait a second. If that's really true, where does that leave us? Are we just along for the ride with no say in what happens? That really brings up the most important question, right? Is there anything we can do to make our lives just a little bit better? Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. How do we even begin to connect this idea of a set destiny with the physical house we live in? Well, that's the whole concept we're exploring. It's not about trying to erase your fate, but about learning how to work with it. Now, check this out. Our expert calls this the 70-30 rule of life. The theory goes that 70% of your life is already locked in by fate. You can't change it. But, and this is the part that matters, you have this 30% window of influence. And that's where your actions, your karma, and the Vastu of your home can make a huge difference. So let's be super clear on this. Vastu isn't a magic wand to make bad things disappear. It's more like a tool to help you manage those fated events. The expert gives this perfect analogy. Let's say an accident is destined to happen. That event is fixed. But with good Vastu, maybe you just get a tiny scratch. With bad Vastu, it could be something much, much worse. See, it's about influencing the outcome, not stopping the event itself. So you're probably asking, how on earth can the layout of my apartment affect my career or my health? Well, it all comes down to this incredible idea that sees your home as a kind of cosmic blueprint for your own body. At the heart of it all is this concept called the Vastu Purusha, which basically means the cosmic man. Just imagine this spiritual cosmic being is laid down right on top of your home's floor plan. Each part of his body corresponds to a specific direction in your home, and that direction, in turn, is linked to a specific part of your body. And this isn't just some vague idea. The connection is said to be incredibly direct. For instance, if you have a Vastu defect in the northeast of your home, the Ishan Han, that's considered the head of the house. That could lead to head injuries. A problem in the southwest, the Nairitya Khan, lines up with the legs and could cause leg injuries. And get this, the belief is that these problems will hit whoever in the house is already the most vulnerable, or whose planets are weakest at that time. Okay, I know this can all sound a little out there, so let's bring it back down to earth and look at some real-world situations where these principles are said to have a direct impact. Let's talk about relationships. Here's a really fascinating example about divorce. According to the expert, for a divorce to actually go through, it's not enough for just one person's home to have a serious Vastu defect. For it to happen, the exact same critical defect has to exist in both the husband's home and the wife's home. If one of them has correct Vastu in that zone, the relationship will likely survive. And the stories just keep coming. Our source mentions a man who survived a plane crash, and it was credited to his good Vastu and good karma. There's another one about a daughter-in-law whose difficult behavior completely changed after she was moved to a bedroom in the home's so-called dominating zone. And a woman trying to get a government job finally succeeded after she strengthened the sun direction in her own home's Vastu. Okay, so this all leads us to the most practical question of all. What can you actually do about any of this? Well, let's get into two simple but supposedly very powerful remedies that were shared. First up is a remedy specifically designed to bring peace and harmony into your household. The entire point of this ritual is to create a special lamp that balances the 5 core elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space, which are believed to control our environment. So, to do this, you're going to need 6 specific things. You'll need an earthen pot, a mitti ka bartan, a regular glass tumbler or kanchka glass, a little piece of wood, a lakudi ka tukra, 7 glass marbles, which are sat kanche, 8 tiny iron balls, at loi ki koli, and finally, some mustard oil, sarson ka tel, for the lamp itself.
All right, here's how you do it. This is a daily ritual, and it has to be done after the sun goes down. You set everything up on a stool in either the southeast or east part of your home. You fill the earthen pot with water, then put the glass tumbler upside down inside it. Then you add the marbles and the iron balls into the pot, around the glass. The piece of wood goes on top of the upside-down glass, and that's where you light your mustard oil lamp. Just let it burn for about 4 or 5 hours.
Now, here's the catch. This isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. For this to really work, you have to do it for a minimum of 43 days in a row. And every single day, you have to use fresh water and a new earthen lamp. Okay, so what if you're dealing with a problem that feels a bit more urgent, like a sudden illness or a major block in your business, or you just feel this heavy, negative energy around you? Well, for that, there's a totally different ritual. This one is actually pretty straightforward. You just take 1 lemon and 9 whole red chilies. You rotate them counterclockwise 7 times over the person's head. Now, here's the really interesting part. If that person is far away, you can do the exact same thing over a regular A4-size photo of them. After you've done the rotations, you take the lemon and chilies and you burn them completely using camphor, or kapoor. And this remedy is apparently a bit of a multi-tool. It's used for things like speeding up recovery from sickness, clearing what's called nazar, or negative energy from someone, getting rid of obstacles at a shop or office, and you can even use it to do an energetic cleansing for your whole family at the same time. But through all of these remedies and all of these ideas, we have to come back to that one crucial point the expert makes. You cannot increase or decrease something, you cannot eliminate it. It all comes back to that 70-30 rule. All of this work happens inside that 30% window of influence that you have. Which really brings us full circle, doesn't it? If 70% of your life is already written by destiny, but you've got this 30% that you can influence through your actions in your environment, well, the only real question left is, how are you going to use your 30%?